my
Fusion,
computer product.
Fusion. Guess what I'm gonna need you to do?
Shut up.
Exactly. Oh, speaking of movies, the movie that
OMG.
I really want to see is The Woman King because Viola Davis. Because I want to see her kick butt because I need her to redeem herself from the whole Michelle Obama situation.
I saw the trailer for this thing and she looks strong. Like, not in a bad way. Like, she looks.
No, it's not.
But anyway, it's giving I love a woman who can kick ass, Cowboy Bebop. Like, it's giving that.
Not Cowboy Bebop, yo.
She looks like she could kick somebody's ass, and I'm here for it. I love kick ass energy from like physicality, like just
The quality wasn't great and the lighting kept going in and out. And then I have my camera literally right here.
yeah.
So if I'm
Can't wait
looking
to
all
see
over the
my
place,
beautiful face too.
bear with me. Child. Anyway, anyway. So the next topic will be we're talking about The Woman King. That is a movie with um
Viola
Viola
Davis.
Davis, John Boyega, and other familiar faces that you may have seen in we wanted to go to the theater and see it when it does come out. However, I'm hoping that it hits a streaming service.
But
Okay, so do you think that's gonna do well in the theater? Do you think people
I
gonna come out
don't
like how they
know.
did for like do you think people gonna come out like how they did for Black Panther?
That's the thing. That's the thing. I'm a little because of course, do I want it to do good? Of course I want it to do good. Because this is based off
Mm-hmm.
of like prior to this, I didn't even know that these women existed because it is
Right,
based off of a historical figures a group
right,
of women warriors in Africa, which is dope.
right.
Never knew that before. Didn't know they
Yeah.
existed. Wouldn't have known they existed without this film being put out there. But
Mm-hmm.
like as far as it, so of course I want it to do well. But as far as it doing well and having a similar sort of impact as Black Panther, I honestly don't know. Cause
Cause
yeah,
because one, I'm only asking because a lot of black people on Twitter are like, "Oh, I hope y'all have the same energy that y'all have for Black Panther." And it's kind of like we understand what it is to be hyped about a movie
mm-hmm.
because everybody had comic books, sorry. Everybody had comic books. We knew what the story was gonna be. We didn't know about this story until we saw the trailer. It's like, oh, okay. Let me do a quick Google search. Boop ba doo boop boop. Oh, that's what this is supposed to be about. Oh, we didn't even really. Some people didn't even really know that it was a true story. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. I was just like, oh, this looks like it's gonna be dope. I just thought that was a regular movie, but then I was like, "Oh, is this real? Is this true?"
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know it until it was that those interviews where it's like, "Okay, this might be pretty interesting with these different people and these personalities and stuff." And then quote unquote personalities. But it was literally like, "Okay, this is something interesting." You know, I wanted Viola Davis to redeem herself because again, yeah, we know what it is. The
But
weather.
um, and the three like big main actors in this film
Mhm.
are we know them to be really great actors. So it's not. I
Yeah.
don't think it's a question about quality as far as people being willing to see it. It's just
Mhm.
there's this, and that's not to put any blame on anybody or anything like that. Where it's like because um franchise you have franchise movies being pushed so hard, and then like the comic book movies being pushed so hard to the point where, anything that's not superhero related or not a franchise gets kind of like sidelined. So
Yeah.
the likelihood of this doing the numbers, I don't
Mhm.
I don't know. Do I want it to do numbers? Yeah, because that's dope. Oh, because
Yeah.
historically, it's always thought of historically that women weren't warriors, that they weren't out here kicking ass and taking names, that they were at home popping out babies, taking care of said babies, doing the cooking and cleaning and the washing and the cultivating, right? Like doing the farm work and that kind of stuff. And the men were out hunting, out being warriors and being, you know, men. In a lot of these cultures, it's not like there's a written historical record that you could look back to know that these women existed in history, right?
Right.
Everything's done orally. It's an oral history that's passed down from generation to generation. But we, and then, you know, depending, it, as far as like their historical impact, there's just so much history in so many different parts of the world. What do you
Mhm.
consider important for people to learn about? So then you sort of
Right.
just kind of like gloss over certain things in
Mhm.
history, so then you never know about certain things. Like, for example, since this is relevant to Black history, I didn't even know that there was a Black Wall Street at one point.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I know that now as an adult, but growing up, I didn't know there was a Black Wall Street. I didn't know about how it got burned down and all this other stuff because they don't teach that.
Wow.
They don't teach that in
Well, the
school as
crazy
part of
thing
history,
is,
which is crazy because that is something that is important because
yeah.
it's literally a part of American history, but we don't really
Yeah.
learn about those things at all unless you're in like, at least from what I heard, in like an African American studies type
Yeah.
course in college,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
or even I'm not sure what the name of the village was, a village in somewhere in New York that I believe they had built Central Park over. I don't remember the name of it, but
I know exactly what you're talking
yeah,
about.
I didn't know about that stuff until recently. And to go even further, for example, the what is it? I think it's the Chinese Exclusion Act. Didn't know that was a
Mhm.
thing. This is a part of American history. Didn't know that was a thing until I watched um what's this damn show? Fucking Wu Assassins. Didn't know that that was a
Mhm.
thing until like watching that and being like, wait, that was a thing? And I
Oh, and
mean, maybe it was
speaking
taught,
of
but maybe I forgot. But yeah.
speaking of places that we didn't know about, I
Mm.
didn't know about Lake Lanier
Yeah,
up
that
until,
too.
what was it? Up until um Usher's stepson passed, because that's where
Mhm.
he passed, in Lake Lanier.
Mhm.
But this is exactly why people say, "Hey, don't go to Lake Lanier," because there's a whole bunch of, they flooded it, they burned it down, killed the people there, all that, and that's why it's like, you're not supposed to go there. And some people say that, they take their people out there. If somebody take you out there and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have a good time," da da da, they plan on killing you.
Mm.
That's what some people say. That's why when you see people go, "Oh, we gonna go to Lake Lanier," "Oh, it ain't nothing, it ain't nothing." I hear
Mm.
so many stories about people going to Lake Lanier. It's a YouTuber that literally said that her people wanted her to go to Lake Lanier. She went and she was just like, "I don't know about this." And she literally almost literally face planted in the water. Her face was a few inches away from the water. Literally heard this story this year. She literally face planted, almost face planted into the water. Her face was inches away from the water.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Oh nah, take me back to the to the grass." Basically.
Mm.
They took her back. Oh, it's not all that. It's not all that.
Seneca Village. That's what it was. Sorry. It popped into my head. I'm sorry.
You're good. But yeah, Lake Lanier.
Like that's
Um
in Georgia, yeah?
yeah. Yeah. And oh, and that's what I was gonna say while you were talking about Woman King. Back to the Woman King. Okay, so the I always look at how much the budget was as far as like movies and stuff is concerned. So the budget is $50 million for a
Mm-hmm.
budget. And that's cheap considering, I don't know how long they spent filming this film, but what I do know is that 50 mil is not a huge budget.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much people were even paid in this movie. Um Out of everybody on the cast, who we know supposed to make the most money?
Viola.
Viola Davis.
Because it's Viola Davis. And
Exactly.
that's the main like draw of the film when you really think about it, is Viola.
Yeah.
John
Yeah.
Boyega is kind of second to Viola, but the main draw is like in big bold letters, Viola Davis.
His name, even when it says starring, it says Viola Davis, and his name is last. I cannot make. I'm gonna screenshot this and send it to you because I can't make this up. I couldn't make this up if I wanted to.
Do you think, in your opinion, because again,
Mm-hmm.
we know that he said out of his own mouth,
Mm-hmm.
"I love my women, my black women," right? Do
Mm-hmm.
you think that perhaps
He took a pay cut.
maybe, yes, in order for
Yeah.
the other women on the cast to get a bigger
Yeah.
cut? Because let's
Yeah.
be
I think
real,
so. So if he did take a pay cut though, then that's cool for him. You know what I'm saying?
right?
Do I think other men in the industry that are not black should take pay cuts and stuff like that? Yes, I do think they should do the same thing. Take a pay cut. Why? Because you don't need all that money. Why does Tom Cruise need that much money? Tell me why.
No Backstreet Boys.